drink. Dr. Murthy warns drinking even moderate amounts can put you at a greater risk for disease, saying, quote, the risk of developing cancer may start to increase around one or fewer drinks per day. In fact, a recent Canadian study found just 2 drinks a week can take 2 to 3 days off your life.
Wow.
That jumps to 2.5 months if you consume 7 a week.
Science now tells us that drinking any alcohol has risks.
Drinking alcohol is the 3rd leading preventable cause of cancer in the U.S. after tobacco and obesity. The country's top doc argues that booze is to blame for nearly 1 million avoidable cancer cases in the U.S. over the last decade, and roughly 20,000 alcohol-related cancer deaths each year. Before an updated warning can be applied, it would need approval from Congress. In Los Angeles, William Lajeunesse, Fox News.
All right, this is a talker, as you can imagine. A lot of people fascinated in this. Dr. Erica Schwartz standing by. Doctor, how much of this is new information? I don't think anybody thought alcohol was good for you. So what's new about what we learned this week?
We learned that finally the government is supposed to be getting involved now because the Surgeon General has now come up with the idea that we need a black box warning for alcohol. We've known all along that alcohol is not good for you. There have been a lot of studies, and then we've been kind of going back and forth about whether 1 drink is okay, 2 drinks are okay. There's good stuff like resveratrol in wine, and so we should drink wine. So we've been listening to a lot of stuff. Then COVID came on. And when COVID came on, people had nothing to do except for drinking. And the more drinking they did, the more problems started coming up. And then there's this moment in time when Dr. Murthy has said it's time to put a black box warning. And it is like the first person said, kind of like people will do whatever they want to do. But, with tobacco, we did put pretty much a damper on the amount of tobacco that people are using. They're not smoking cigarettes anymore. So now drinking starts moving in the same direction. Now, we know that alcohol is bad for your liver. We know that alcohol increases the risk of cancer in a lot of places, like liver, colorectal, but also we know in women, alcohol increases the risk of breast cancer. So we've known all of this stuff. Now the question is, are we going to do anything about it at the federal level, or are we going to continue the conversation?
America has a drinking culture. Is this a sign that the health and the science perhaps is catching up with the social aspects and the popularity of drinking?
Yeah, and I think that it all came kind of to a head when nobody had anything to do and sat home and drank, because when we made liquor stores essential businesses during COVID. So I've seen in my practice more and more people drinking more than ever before because they had nothing else to do.
I got to ask you, because there's going to be a lot of people at home rolling their eyes, thinking, well, the news, it's their job to tell us the bad news about these things sometimes. Right. How much alcohol is okay?
That's a good question. Everybody's different. Some people, and I think it's about learning to take care of ourselves and understand ourselves, because each one of us is different. Some of us will have 1 glass of wine and get nauseous and throw up and not feel so good. So others can take 10 glasses of wine or some liquor and feel fine. The thing is that there are people, just like with smoking, that smoke a whole lifetime and they never get lung cancer. And then there are people who smoke 2 packs of cigarettes and come down with lung cancer and emphysema. So it's about owning our own life, not getting scared. And that's where the government comes in and scares us by saying things like, this is bad, it's going to cause cancer, which it's true that it will cause cancer. It increases the risk. We've known it for a long time. It's just a matter of maybe educating ourselves to take responsibility for ourselves and not be scared.
So, in your opinion, would it make sense to have a cancer warning on alcohol?
I'm not a drinker, so you have to know who you're dealing with. So I'm not a drinker. And I stopped drinking when I was 40 altogether. So it means it's about what do you do to stay healthy. And my business, what I do for a living, is I work in wellness and disease prevention. So drinking alcohol is not part of disease prevention.
So I think we're going to have to just wait and see how this plays out. We'll see if any warnings do get attached to our drinks. And I would assume there's state laws that have to do with a lot of this stuff, too. We're not just talking about federal regulations here. Seeing
Right.
from Fox 7 Austin, our producer Ryan popping this up, alcohol is linked to roughly 100,000 cancer cases and 20,000 cancer deaths each year. But fewer than half of Americans are aware of the risk. This is certainly a talker, and it's going to continue to be. Dr. Erica Schwartz, we appreciate your time. Take care. Have a good rest of your weekend.
You too. Thank you.